When I first got involved with this Incubate Energy project, it was very interesting to me in that I've got a plant background, so looking at ways to help the field workers actually visualize the work they're going to do, and also to have support on demand was really very interesting. Now, due to some of the travel restrictions with COVID, when we started this project, we decided to host it within EPRI. And we've got a fantastic high voltage test lab up in Lenox, Massachusetts, where we decided to do this project. So as we worked with Kognitiv Spark and with the guys at the Lenox lab, really the project came together a lot better than we ever could have imagined it would. So as just a review or a summary of what it is, Kognitiv Spark has developed a platform to utilize the Microsoft HoloLens 2 for remote subject matter expert support. Now, what that simply means is that the field worker can place the HoloLens 2 on their head, be immediately connected with a subject matter expert at a different location. That could either be in the control room or in the office space of the same plant, or even in maybe an engineering headquarters hundreds of miles away. Now, the other interesting facet about this project is the fact that they could build holographic models and transmit those to the field worker to review before they actually start the task. Just to tell you a little bit about the technology and how it works, I'm going to turn it over to Duncan McSporran for a few minutes to tell us about Remote Spark and what got them interested in this involvement with EPRI and Incubate Energy.
Great. Thank you very much for the introduction, Buck. My name is Duncan McSporran. I'm the Chief Operations Officer for Kogniv Spark. We're a Canadian-based software company that is really identified as a leader in secure and reliable applications for the use of mixed reality for remote worker support. Our flagship product has been the core of this project, and that's called Remote Spark. And this is an industrial-grade solution built for the Microsoft HoloLens and other platforms that digitally connects remote workers to subject matter experts so that they can facilitate complex troubleshooting and task guidance in a way that's not been previously possible. We're partners with Microsoft and with HPE, amongst others, and Microsoft have identified the fact that in this particular field, we're a global leading competency. And we actually have capabilities which are network agnostic. So what you're able to do is operate this capability that we've created either on cloud or on premise, so completely disconnected from the internet or any external connectivity. And it's designed to help industrial organizations to reduce travel costs, facilitate knowledge transfer as our experts get older and get close to retirement, so that we can get that information to the people that really need to know, which is that next generation of technicians and workers, and to reduce equipment downtime while supporting workforces remotely. And what we also hope to do really with the introduction of this type of technology, not just ours, is also to reduce the number of errors and the amount of errors and reduce the amount of time that equipment is offline because somebody has made the wrong decision because they think they're doing the right thing, but they're not doing the right thing. As I mentioned, we're based in Canada, in New Brunswick in Canada, and we set the company up in essence as a security company to create mixed reality solutions. And that's led us through a very rocky road as far as the development's concerned in terms of the challenges that we've faced. But what it's led us to is an incredibly stable platform that is able to work on very low bandwidth with very high security. And that's really important from an industrial perspective. And our focus, whilst we're a security company at heart, making these solutions, our focus is on making mixed reality work where the end user needs it to work. And we'll hear some comments from Mike in a short while about his thoughts on this as he's tried this system at the Lenox lab in Massachusetts. But really what we've done here and what we've managed to be able to do with the Incubate Energy program and with Matt and with Lenox Lab is to do what we do with all of our deployments. We build partnerships. This isn't about a company which comes in and sells a software solution and walks away and comes back in 12 months for a license renewal. This is about building the solutions to help that end user do their work as effectively as they possibly can using the most modern technologies in a really stable and applicable way. And right from the word go, what we've seen here within the EPRI project and within the Incubate Energy project is a whole host of end use cases where this will have a direct impact on the operations of utilities as we move forwards. Now, we've done this in a cloud-based solution, and that was because of the situation we found ourselves in with COVID-19. It was easier for us to facilitate the tests and the trials using on cloud, because it meant we could do what Remote Spark says it can do on the package, which is help people work remotely. And we've done that without the need to travel. I've not been to Lennox. I've not been to where Buck is now in Florida. And we've not been to any of the other EPRI sites. We've done this all through remote working principles. But equally, where there is a requirement, and that may be within certain parts of the utility sector and the power generation sector, there may be a requirement to do this on-prem, and we're able to do what you see here in this report and what you see through the videos equally as well on-premise as we can do using the cloud. With that, I am going to hand back to Matt, and we'll hear from Mike in due course as well. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Duncan. As we started off this project, of course, we had to capture some images to build the models of some of the equipment at Lennox, and we talked about a few different things and ended up with the using an SF6 breaker and also an SEL 751 relay. And Mike was involved from the beginning with capturing photographs and helping us build the models and then execution. So Mike, just a couple of thoughts from you as far as from the field perspective, the process of working with them to build the models and then actually executing the processes for the demonstration.
Okay, thanks. So I was basically given a set of goggles and an email and told, here you go. And the process was actually quite easy. I spent about half an hour to an hour just learning the basics of the goggles, which are pretty mind-blowing. And then I just took some photographs from my phone and uploaded them to Buck, who provided them to Kogniv Spark. And I don't know, within a few days probably, they provided an amazing 3D model of the breaker and the relay. Details were outstanding, and it was then uploaded into the goggles where you could then have some bit of interaction with it, spin it around, play any animations that there may have been on there, which was incredibly handy because I wasn't very familiar with either of those pieces of equipment, which I think is probably the benefit of the goggles, is you can have someone with relatively zero experience have information on your screen, on hand, and also have an expert in the background just seeing what you're seeing and telling you, don't touch that. They actually have the ability to draw on the screen so you can see what they've drawn or highlighted in your field of view, regardless of which way you turn your head. Absolutely amazing. And it's pretty obvious that, especially in this time of limited travel, how the potential of this software and these goggles, especially for us in Lennox, where we are a relatively small group of people in a relatively large environment, and many of our experts are throughout the world. And without having them come here to be on hand, the next best thing is actually having them essentially in your head as you're seeing and interacting with them, and the whole time you're hands-free, and it's just a wonderful technique.
So, from the beginning of the project through the closeout, it's been very interesting, and I believe there's a lot of potential for field workers using this technology. Now, obviously, anybody that's used the HoloLens understands there are some limitations to that technology. We still need to address the adaptation with a hard hat for use in PPE required areas. But the second generation HoloLens is much improved over the first, and I'm very interested to see where we go next steps. We've already had a couple of utilities reach out with interest in doing on-site demonstrations. So I'm excited about it, and I think it's going to be valuable as we move through and for the future of the digital worker.